for joining us for our latest A Passion for Purpose interview. We all know that the global pandemic has had a massive impact on the food services industry, especially family-owned businesses and restaurants with millions of doors closed for an undetermined period of time. Over the last several months, SAP has been using its platforms and voice to elevate small Black-owned businesses through the campaign #SpotlightBlackBusinesses. This is personally, for me, one of my favorite initiatives. So imagine how excited I was to invite Etch Towers from SAP Ariba and his wife, Mar, who own and operate a culinary events and catering company. Etch and Mar, thank you so much for being with us today and for your willingness to share your story. Owning and operating a small business is no small task. I'd love for you to share a little bit more about your background and journey to be both a full-time employee as director on our SAP Ariba Intelligent Spend Management team, and Mar, you have a full-time job as well outside of the family business. I'd love for you to talk a bit about that juggle. I mean, you're both juggling two very, very important, challenging careers. How do you make it all happen?
So Alicia, I'll tell you that I've always been cooking. So ever since high school, I learned to cook from my mom and my grandmother, and went to college, and I hate to say it, but I got this reputation of being the guy that can cook for the parties. So I cooked for all these parties, and when I graduated, as life would happen, friends are having kids, friends are getting married, and everybody wants somebody to come cook for these events. And just word got around that this guy, Etchenay from school, call him, he'll cook for the party. And it's just funny how the business just started to expand that way. So I started doing, baby showers, birthday parties, bridal showers. And this little business that kind of started out of my kitchen just really started to evolve. And then I met Mar and we got married, and we both have the same passion of food and entertaining.
That's great. Mar, let me hear your story as well.
Well, I'm an executive assistant for a global company that does workforce accommodations. And I love my job because it's so flexible. It kind of gives me, I kind of make my own schedule. So it allows me to carve out time to focus on the business.
So how have you both navigated the pandemic with your business while keeping passion and still running strong with your business? And are there any ways in particular that you've had to perhaps pivot the business to be able to still thrive and, keep your passion at a level that it needs to be for you to be successful?
As you can imagine, the service industry has been hit very hard. And for us, we're based on people getting together. So if people aren't getting together, there aren't any events to actually, cater. So there was that period, I would say the first part of COVID, where we actually, I would say, took a little bit of a break, but really, I would say the break was really more research for me. I learned more recipes. I learned different things to cook. So I had a little bit of time to do more research on ingredients. But we also figured out ways to continue and thrive through virtual cooking classes. We're finding that people still want to get together, and they can get together, through Zoom, through their social media, and have these very fun cooking classes with their friends, with their family, and be in their own homes. So we've been able to successfully do that and really thrive kind of in that space. I will say, because of our workers, we have service workers, temporary staff, waiters, etc. Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of providing them payroll during this time because there aren't any events. And even if we were able to staff those employees, I can only imagine the amount of money we'd have to invest to make sure that, one, they're protected and they're protecting our customers. So we have had not had the ability to continue staffing those workers during this time, but it's been very difficult because they need the income.
So in addition to COVID and the impact on many small businesses, we're also navigating through a very challenging racial climate as well in the US. Have you seen this affect your business in any way? And, if so, how have you had to navigate that a bit differently as well?
I'll say that there were times in my life where I feel like maybe I wasn't as apt to speak up about certain things. I never want to be that guy to kind of, cry wolf or complain about every situation that I went through. But when I think about my experience, I do recall when I think about implicit bias, there have been a lot of situations where we've catered events and, we're oftentimes catering, in multi-million dollar homes, very wealthy individuals. And, people kind of treated us like the help and have even made comments to our workers that I probably thought were inappropriate. But I think my focus back then was like, don't say anything, don't rock the boat. But I think now with this climate, it's really given me the ability to have the courage to speak up about, what's right and what's wrong. And there are, too many examples out there that unfortunately aren't being spoken about. And I think this is kind of I would say the silver lining about all this is it's giving people the power to be able to have the conversations, the uncomfortable conversation, whether it be with coworkers, with friends, about what these actual experiences are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. When I think about the two careers that you both juggle, you're chasing a passion, and I think others would love to do that as well, but they might not necessarily know how they can make it all work. What would be the advice that you would give?
You have to be flexible, and you definitely have to stick to a schedule. We kind of found our rhythm, and we play off of each other, and we kind of know, we've been able to really separate our responsibilities, and it works well. So that's how we're able to, make time for the business, our jobs, our kids, our own self. It's definitely keeping a strict schedule.
When Mara and I got together in the business, I've learned it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
I think prior to us getting together, I'd say yes to anything. Do you need a salad? Yes, I'll do it. Do you need baked potatoes? Oh, sure, I'll do it. And the reality is, we have kids and we have a personal life. And to me, if the opportunity isn't going to either push our business forward or give us an ability to kind of stretch ourselves and be creative, I'm going to say no. It's not for us about making money. It's about really creating that experience for someone in an environment that we can appreciate.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with all of us today, for inspiring us, for helping us to believe in what's possible. And I wish you both much continued success. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.